Hello, if someone is watching us, we're just waiting, giving a couple of minutes for people to come. Okay, we'll be starting in 1 minute. Okay, good. So we already have some people joining in. So hello, everyone, those who are watching live or those who are watching this recording. So without any further ado, well, this is our last session of Get the Gold. And we have an amazing Fassi, Para MCPPD of ISEC in Finland. And I know him personally. He's great. He's always like looking how to innovate and on doing sales, how to be faster, how to be more efficient. So I think we can learn a lot from him. So Para, the stage is all yours. Hello, Para. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, we can hear you now. Perfect.
To deliver. It's really an honor to be here. A little knowledge that I know, and hope we can just learn a little bit. This thing is loading. Yes.
Hey, I think it's your audio is getting choppy, but okay, let's try.
Hello.
Okay, so seems that there are some technical problems, so we're just waiting for Para to sort those issues.
All right, I'm back, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear now.
Can you hear me and can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, let's try this one more time. If I do it like this, can you see it?
Yes, we can see it like that.
All right. Okay, perfect. All right, we'll go with this way. All right. So I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. We can start now though. So yes, I'm here today to deliver a session for value delivery for partners. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So just a brief introduction of who I am. So my name is Paramatha Sajjana Narendra Deepa. I'm the member committee vice president of partnership development. So MCVPPD for Isaac in Finland. So originally I'm from Indonesia, but I grew up in England, and my academic background is actually software engineering. I love traveling. I've been to 33 countries, and apparently I'm Instagram famous, which is quite interesting as well. All right, so I want to begin this session with a small story time. So when I applied to the MC in Finland, actually I wanted more to be the marketing profile, so MCVP digital marketing. But the way the team was formed, my final designated role was MCVP partnership development. And in Finland, we do partnership development through IGT, Global Talent, which is a product which I've been told that you guys are also dealing with. So I understand where you're coming from, dealing with the product you might not have much knowledge of, but I see it more of a challenge and more of a determination to actually learn at a faster pace. So this is what I've been doing since the beginning of August, and it's been quite a fun ride. Yeah, so that's just a little background story there. So for today, we'll cover three different sections. So the first one is the importance of building a lasting partnership. The second thing would be how to achieve to build these lasting partnerships. And finally, how to upscale an account. So how can we upscale these good relationships that we have with the partners? So to start off, the importance of building a lasting partnership. So if you look at the basic definition of what is a partnership, so a partnership is an agreement where parties, known as partners, agree to cooperate to advance their mutual interest. So the biggest learning curve that I had to overcome in dealing with IGT is that knowing the fact that in partnership, it's mutually beneficial. So what it means is that by working together, both parties actually have something to gain. So this is achieved through both sides actually contributing value, both sides compromising, and in turn both sides benefiting from this partnership. So if we break it down to the company and Isaac, so let's see, what has Isaac have to gain from having partnerships with companies? So it's mainly enable us to provide this development opportunities for EPs and interns from around the world to come to Sweden, to come to Finland, and do a global talent internship for 6 to 18 months. So this is the value that we get from the companies. They enable these experiences. So that's what we get as Isaac. What do the companies get? So if you break it down, they get access to a global talent pool of people from more than 120 countries. They also have a very fast processing time. This is, of course, dependent on the countries, but the fastest would be 21 days. And for hiring and recruiting, in HR, 21 business days is amazingly fast. So this is a very huge benefit that companies get. And finally, what the companies get is all these logistical matters, such as the visa, residence permit, accommodation, the standards that we deliver as Isaac. This is a very huge plus for companies because effectively, when the intern comes for the first day of work, not only someone from Isaac takes into work, but they are effectively ready to work from the get-go. So once I realized this, is that working with partners, working with companies, we are actually providing them so much value, and it really justifies the service fee that we charge them. And personally, I think it's too little, even though here in the Nordics we do charge quite a lot compared to the other entities around the world, but we are providing a huge amount of value to these partners. So yes, so partnership is mutually beneficial. So another important factor of building a lasting relationship is we become the first brand on their mind. So if I would say soft drink, you would think of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, something like that. So when you have a very good relationship with a partner, when they think of, okay, we need interns, or we want to contribute something positive to the world, Isaac should be the first brand that comes into their mind. So when you build these relationships to a level where it's valuable, Isaac will be the first brand on their mind. So the next thing is, when you have something very valuable, you will get constant repeated business. So in Isaac term, this is basically reopenings. You'll get reopenings either, I don't know, yearly or several times throughout the year, is because they know the brand and they trust you. They value this partnership, the relationship between Isaac and the company. So they are not hesitant to do business with you again, as in they're not hesitant to have more reopenings with you. The next thing is referrals. You can see from the pictures, there's a lot of friends. So even though, yes, companies are competing with each other, but these companies and the people who are in charge, our main contact person in these companies, they are also humans, and they have friends, they have lives, So we've had experiences where the main contact person has a friend in another company, and the other company was looking for interns, and he just basically said, oh, we get our interns through Isaac, through the global talent program, and they've been very good, the quality is very good, and they are very qualified, and all the processes are done very well, and communication is easy. So this is another benefit of building a very good partnership with someone, referrals. It gets you more openings through new partners who you are not even advertising to or trying to do sales with. So referrals is very, very powerful, because it's a personal, personal endorsement to someone else that, yes, I trust this brand, and yes, these guys are good and they provide very good service. So another thing is cross-sell. So cross-selling is basically selling to a company a different product. So perhaps you are doing IGT as your first touch point with this company, but then you may have conferences or where they could, be part of the conference as a sponsor, to hold workshops. And this could also cross-sell into other products. So for example, into the Global Volunteer product. So one idea of cross-sell would be for the company who you are providing IGT to maybe like sponsor 5 or 10 global volunteer fees, and it goes adding to their branding and to their brand positioning. So this is an idea of a cross-sell. So cross-sell is selling the same partner, the same customer, a different type of product. So relating to this is upsell. So The difference between cross-sell and upsell: upsell means selling more to them. So this could be in the form of scaling them from a national partner, who gets maybe 2-3 openings from you, and the next time would be through a global coordinator and they want like 10 openings or 15 openings. So an upsell, it's also a kind of like a next step in the relationship, and it's something that happens naturally over time, but it's very important that they trust you and the foundation of the partnership is very strong. So upsell is another benefit to this. So we can see like there's a lots of benefits to having a very good relationship with a partner. So the question is, how do we actually achieve these lasting partnerships? Because it's all about the practicalities, and it's good to have goals, but what is exactly the steps which will bring us closer to having this relationship level of a very good partnership with a company? So the first thing is, this is what I like to do, which is under promise and over deliver. So I know that when you deal with partners, it's very tempting to promise them like, oh, I will get back to you in 24 hours. I will get back to you in by this afternoon or something like that. It's very, very tempting because you always constantly want to give a very good impression to them. But what you could do is, if you know that you could get back to them by the afternoon, you can basically tell them that, okay, we'll get back to you by tomorrow morning. Yet by the afternoon, you can still get back to them. So it keeps the partner always pleasantly surprised by your performance and your communication and your relationship. So this is kind of a trick that I do, which is under promising but over delivering. So never promise them too much, and the opposite to this, do not do this. Do not over promise and under deliver, because that is a step backwards in creating a long lasting partnership. The second thing is to set clear expectations. So from the very beginning, try to explain every small details. So what I like to do is I put myself in the shoes of a company and think, what questions would they have? Which doubts do they have? So before they actually ask you, you could just say, explain to them, okay, you may be wondering ABC. The reason why we do ABC is this. So it's to set clear expectations so that there is no miscommunication, because when you don't set clear expectations, then they might feel like you are not delivering according to what they're expected. So it's always better to be very clear and very transparent with every processes. So a common thing would be a practical example with IGT. It would be, if we were to source someone from the EU, then they wouldn't need the residence permit or visa. But if we source someone from outside the EU, then we would need, and this means dealing with the immigration services, and this is a factor which is beyond our control. So it might delay the timeline, or it might add to the timeline by X amount of days or weeks. But it's better to set these expectations from the beginning, so that if they really do need someone very fast, then they would source it from EU, even though perhaps they are not as qualified as those if they were to source it from outside, and vice versa. So yes, relating to this is effective communication. So always try to figure out which type of communication channel works best with your partner. So some partners love emails because they have something to refer to. I agree, emails is always good, but some partners like to be called because they like to be informed, and they like to make quick decisions. So what I tend to do is I mix the two. I send an email to them, and perhaps 30 minutes later I would call them and I would tell them that I sent you an email regarding this. Did you get a chance to check it yet? Did you have a chance to read through it? If they say they haven't, then you just simply say, no problem, I will call you back in an hour to follow up with you. So effective communication is very good, and it's very good to identify which channel they are most comfortable with. Some partners really don't like phone calls, which is fine, but they reply to emails like very, very fast. So it's just figuring out which communication channel. You can even ask them directly, like which method of communication would you prefer, and most likely they will just tell you, and it's fine. All right, so friendship, not just business. So as your relationship with partners, with companies develop, then you become more friendly with them. In the beginning, it might seem a bit robotic, as in purely transactional, but over time it gets more friendly, and this is a very good thing to have because it gives much more empathy on both sides. So if a partner was supposed to give me the decision on which interviews they wish to candidates by the end of today, and they can't really, the schedule was very busy, then you will tend to be more lenient, like, yeah, it's fine, officially it should be today, but can you please get it to me by 8 a.m. tomorrow? So you take this tone of, oh no, you didn't hold your end of the deal, this is unacceptable. So the leniency and the generosity works both ways, and having this more friendship relationship as the partnership develops is always good. But relating with this is still you represent Isaac, and it is a global organization. Everything you say, everything you do, it's representing the brand. So they don't see it as para blah blah blah, but it's Isaac blah blah. So maintaining professionalism, it's important at all times, but you need to strike this balance between professionalism and also being friendly. So what I mean by professionalism is if you said you will do something, make sure you deliver on that. The friendliness is if you were to not be able to deliver, but you inform them a bit earlier and say, okay, we need another alternative. So this leniency comes from the friendship side. So how to upscale an account? So how can you basically sell more to the same people? So let's see which ways we can do this. I went to the PD Summit in Bonn in Germany a few months back, and I was speaking with Isaac is from Germany, and they gave me a very amazing tip, which was when you start a new partnership with someone, you can set expectations from the beginning, as in you could say, okay, this is a new partnership. We don't know if it will work for you and for us. So kind of like a trial period. So let's have like 2 or 3 openings to begin with. And should this go well, let's scale it up to 5 or 8. Would that be suitable for you? So the good thing about setting expectations from the beginning is that they know that should these 2, 3 initial interns work well and perform well, and they had a very good customer experience, they have kind of like informally agreed that they would source way more people through Isaac. So this is like really an amazing tip to have. Of course, different companies have different needs in the amount of human resource they require, but it's very good. Let's say you manage to land an account with a big company. I think it was mentioned that you guys landed a company with like 10,000 staff, something like that. So all companies, these big companies, they're always expanding the operation, so it requires more human resources. So if you were to take this approach, then the next time you open with them, you'll get way more openings, way more openings with the same exact partner. So the next thing is a nice little trick as well. So you need to be aware of the quarters. Businesses runs with quarters. So at the end of quarters, you can basically contact them, and because usually they plan and review performances and stuff like that. So by the end of the quarter, you can just contact them and just ask them like how is your business going? Is it expanding? Always when they're expanding, it means they need more people. So if they say yes, doing well, we are doing well, then you can just suggest to them that, oh, perhaps you want more interns through Isaac. And initially it might not be in their plan, but it could be in their plan. And of course, with the lead time of global talent product, it would not be realized in the next direct quarter, but maybe in the following quarter. So at the end of, let's say, end of quarter one, you contact them, and throughout quarter two, this is when you are doing the selection and also the interviews and all that, and they are basically ready to start by the start of quarter three. So this could be one way to upscale an account. This one is, I like this one. So what you can do is you can leverage career openings. So you can go to the website. Most likely they have a careers page or something like, we are looking for XYZ type of profiles. So you can do your back research and see the types of profile they're looking for. Like for example, I found a company and it was our existing company, and they were looking for a full stack developer, and I saw it on there, and then I contacted them and I said, yeah, so you guys are looking for a full stack developer. I've checked our platform. There's quite a few good ones. If you guys want to, interview them, and possibly there might be a good match for your company. So leveraging career openings and on their website, or you can even go to recruitment websites like Glassdoor or something like that. So you can leverage this, because mostly the internal hiring person in charge would put these postings on these websites because they're looking to attract people, and you just basically help them solve a problem with our solution, which is our global talent product. All right, so you could also utilize company news. So if you read the news, or even from the website, perhaps they have a news section. So if you see their revenue is growing bigger, or perhaps they're opening a new branch in another city, or they're expanding their operations. So this means, like I mentioned before, if they are growing, it means they need additional human resource. So once you see this news, it's a good indication of they might need additional people, more teams and more human resources. So you can utilize company news and leverage this piece of information to be a good, contact entry point to offering them additional openings. And this last but not least, you can leverage your other partners. So this is a bit sneaky, but it works. So you can contact a partner and tell them that, of course, hopefully it's based on some sort of truth. But you can contact a partner and say, oh, at this moment in time, our other partners are opening a lot of opportunities. So we were also wondering if you are also interested to open. So this usually puts a company in a position where they don't want to be left behind. They also want to, run as fast as their competitor, run as fast as the other businesses. And, it makes them, as long as you get them to question themselves, do we need more people? You've kind of got one foot in the door, because this is the first question which would lead to, yes, maybe we do, and okay, let's see what we need, and then they will contact you and get reopenings. So yeah, so just to summarize, so value delivery for partners, we covered the topics of the importance of building a lasting relationship, all the benefits that it brings to us, how to achieve this. So small tips and steps, which brings you a step closer to achieving a very good relationship with partners. And finally, how to upscale an account. So how to basically sell more with to an existing company. Like one advice that I got from my predecessors was, it is easier to sell to an existing partner rather than a new partner, because They know your brand. They've already probably had good experiences with you. So new sales is always tougher than existing partners. But it doesn't mean that you should not do new sales, because the way I see with the global talent product is, you're providing a very good solution for companies, which otherwise would not be able to achieve it without Isaac. So as a practical example, we have a partner in the north of Oulu and in the north of Finland, sorry. And what they were trying to achieve was they wanted to expand to Colombia. It's a Finnish company. They wished to expand to Colombia, and they wanted to train people here in Finland for 6 months and then hire them full time in Colombia. So imagine you're the Finnish company. Like, where do you even begin? If you were to hire locally, it's quite tough, because it's finding someone who's willing to move across the world to work in Colombia, maybe for the equal amount of pay or maybe less, and if it's someone who really likes Finland, then perhaps they wouldn't want to make such moves. So they were in a very difficult situation to solve a particularly difficult challenge. So as Isaac, what we did was, all right, I had a meeting with them and I understood what they needed, what they were trying to achieve. And I proposed that, okay, how about if we get interns from Colombia? They already live there. So, going to Colombia would not be a big of a change. And it will be someone with the profile of who is recently graduated or in the last phase of their mandatory internship. So they would come to Finland for 6 months. They will get all the trainings, all the knowledge from the company. And then when they expand to Colombia, they would simply go to Colombia and work there. So, analyzing from the company's perspective, it solves a lot of problems, as in, the difficulties of, convincing someone to move to Colombia from Finland. So that challenge is gone. And also, from the intern perspective, imagine, as a graduate, your biggest nightmare is, will I find a job? But here is an amazing opportunity to go to Europe, go to Finland for 6 months, work and learn from a Finnish company, and then go back to my home country with a guaranteed employment of at least 1 year. So as you can see, and for us, we as Isaac, we develop, we enable these development opportunities. So it's when I say mutually beneficial, it really does, it truly is, because what we do, it's solving a lot of challenges, and we are providing so much value, and you are providing life-changing experiences, basically. So these type of openings are the type of openings that keep me going in global talent product, because it is a tough product to do, but the impact of it's quite monumental. So it is an amazing product to be working with. So yeah, so this brings us to question and answers. So perhaps if you guys have any questions or answers, or maybe some input which I can learn from, that would be wonderful as well.
Great. Actually, I have a couple of questions from the LCs here that they sent.
Okay.
Yeah, first question is, it's really interesting. Do you have any way that you measure the satisfaction of your partners?
All right. So we're in the process of developing this measurement, but also making it productive on our side as well, because you could send us a type of survey or something like that, like a net promoter score, to gauge the satisfaction level. But if you are able to do the same and also provide possible more reopenings. So my colleague is from MC in Nigeria. So she shared with me that when she contacts partners, it's not just gauging their satisfaction level, but also asking them questions like, are you looking, to hire more interns in the next 3 to 6 months, 6 months to 1 year, and also, do you have any other companies or friends which you can refer us to? So to answer directly to the question, in Finland, not at the present moment, we are in the development of such things. But if you guys are also developing this, ensure that you also get more value out of it as well, as in ask them for more reopenings in the future and also referrals, because it kind of like kills two birds with one stone.
Good. And there's another question.
All right.
Yeah. When do you know is the right time to cross sell, to offer a company another product? Like, especially if people are taking IGT, like to offer them to take participation into funding OGV.
All right, so you just have to see it from a human nature perspective. So you're more inclined to agree to something when you are happy with something. So this could be when you check on the partners and just basically just a friendly chat of oh, how are things going with the interns? Are you happy? Can we support you with anything else? And if they seem really happy with them, like I'm super pleased and everything is going well, then you know that window is open. Or if an EP has finished an experience and the overall customer, experience and satisfaction has been very good, then again, it's a very good window to cross sell to them. But if, for example, you're trying to match an EP and you've been struggling to match it because you couldn't find the profile for it and it's been open for maybe 2 or 3 months, and you think, it's kind of not working, should we try to sell them this cross-sell of sponsoring a GV? That would not be so wise. So I think just gauge on when they are most happy with the relationship, and you could leave like a day or two and suggest something like, I was it was good to hear that you are happy from the call from a few days ago. I have this idea, like just call it an idea, not a proposal, because it's always good to keep it at a discussion stage and gauge what is their reaction, so and then from that, then you have a formal meeting. But yeah, to summarize, just on a window where they are most happy or very pleased with the result, that would be a good moment to strike with the cross-sell.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so far those are all the questions. I didn't receive any more. So thank you very much, Para, for your time for this amazing session. And yeah, with this, I declare the sales education cycle over for this semester. So thank you very much, guys, for watching us.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, the series has been really amazing. And I'm very happy to be a part of it as well. Very good initiative. It's been really, really good.
Awesome. So yeah, that's how you can connect with Para. Do follow him. He's on Instagram. He's very interesting pictures, really cool. So thank you again, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys.